Hey everyone, Twisty here. Scarlet and Violet are basically on the horizon. They are gonna release later this year, probably for the Christmas holidays. And I think that I want to throw in a certain list of things that I would want for Scarlet and Violet to be included so that they are as good as I personally would like them to be. I know I voiced my concerns about Scarlet and Violet in past videos, but I really just want these games to be as good as possible. That being said, I'm gonna give you a list of up to 7 points. It depends on whether you want to merge a few points because they're so similar. And yeah, I'm just gonna give a few points that I think Scarlet and Violet need to do to be as good as possible. Again, the chapters are not linked, they are listed down below in the video description. Skip to whatever you think is necessary. Let's get going. Point number 1 that I absolutely need Scarlet and Violet to do, or not do, depending on your look at things. Stop trying to be Kanto. Okay, let me explain really quick, because there is a bit of history with how I perceive Pokemon, especially with the start of a new generation. Okay, we had X and Y. Those games gave us Viridian Forest basically 1-to-1, and they gave us the Gen 1 starters as a sense of familiarity, and I guess also to reawaken the love for some lost OG Gen 1 fans, I guess. Then we had, I'm gonna exclude remakes because they are usually their own generation as a representation, which only makes sense. I'm also gonna exclude Sun and Moon here. Why? Because the only thing I know really about Sun and Moon is the ride Pokemon feature with the phone where you get the Pokemon to ride on. I guess they were all Kanto Pokemon, if my memory isn't too bad on those games. I literally haven't played them since the week that they came out. But yeah, Ultra, also gonna skip over Ultras and Ultra Moon for the same reason. For a similar reason, at least. Then we had the introduction to the Switch games. We got a Kanto remake with Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. I don't think I need to say anything about that. And with Gen 8, we had the big games, Sword and Shield. We got a Gigantamax Charizard in the intro. We got a literal ton of Gigantamax forms for Kanto Pokemon. And yeah, overall, it also felt like there was a lot of safety involved with a big focus on something like specifically like Charizard. Charizard always seems to be a safety net whenever something feels like it's not literally profitable from the get-go. And yeah, the whole... I'm honestly pretty sure that the whole bring back national Dex movement also was a big reason as to why Charizard took center stage as Leon's Pokemon of choice. I'm pretty convinced about that. Either way, little side rant aside, I just want Scarlet and Violet to be daring. I want them to take the approach that PLA had and bring it to the next level. To actually be daring in what they do with the presentation, with the characters, with the story even. I want them to do something fresh instead of doing the same exact formula for a 9th time. And yeah, sure, you might say Sun and Moon had the trials, but it was essentially still the same. So yeah, please, no more Kanto, no more living in the past. Move forward, Game Freak. Try something, please. That's the only thing I ask. Of course, it has to have some form of quality behind it, but I'm gonna talk about that a little later. Point number 2. The seamless encounter transition that Pokemon Legends Arceus introduced has to stay. It is literally a new standard that Pokemon should not be allowed to stray away from. It's such a good way of introducing Pokemon. It's It's just way more lively. It's not a grass flying through the screen, black screen, Pokemon flying in from the side. That has to go. Which also means that from this point onward, we need overworld shinies in every single Pokemon going forward. Because the old transition has to go. It's outdated. PLA has shown us how it's supposed to work. People can hate Pokemon Legends Arceus for whatever they want to, but the transition style is the best in the series, bar none. And I'm also making this non-negotiable. There is no talking out of this. It's the best. Done and done. Point number 3. Let the players actually have credit for doing something. This is something that has been grinding the community's gears for quite a while now. Things like the experience all are forced down our throats generation after generation, game after game. Game Freak, please just stop. It's not that hard. Just put a quick on-off switch on it or make it the old experience share altogether. I do think that while Pokemon is still a gaming franchise that is targeted at all ages, I think the majority of people who play Pokemon are people who, I would say, have a somewhat developed brain. So I don't think that Game Freak needs to take away the importance of leveling certain Pokemon through clever usage of the experience share. I don't think Game Freak has to take that away from us. Yeah, I get it, okay? It's convenient. We're probably going to get XP candies again, since they seem to be a constant feature now, because it's actually even more convenient than the experience all. But at least give people some credit for wanting to have a gaming experience that isn't literally babysitting them. I'm personally, and I probably am gonna get thrown into hot water for this, I'm personally really in the camp, I absolutely effing hate the experience share because it's stupid, it's baby, it's got no place anymore. Experience share should go. Either that or make it have an on-off switch. I'm 29 years personally. I can handle switch training. Is it stupid? Is it tedious? Is it time consuming? Yes. Do I want to do that because it's what I perceive to be a much more me decision to do? Yes. Again, different likes, different beliefs. It's okay if you like it. I personally just think that at least the on-off switch should become a constant feature going forward. Point number 4. Actually updated animations. Look, Pokemon Legends Arceus had a few moves that were thrown out. I can see why. Something like Tail Whip shouldn't really handle both defense stats at once. It should even handle defense at all, to be fair, but hey, I'm not here to make Pokemon rules, because that's not my job. That being said, I do think that the worst moves, quite honestly, of Pokemon have been taken out of Pokemon Legends Arceus for Game Freak to have more time to work on actual reworking of how something like Tail Whip is supposed to look in future games, like Scarlet and Violet. Not only that, I also do hope that we're not gonna get any more talk about high quality animations just to have those ripped straight from Sword and Shield, for instance. And yes, I said in past videos, when people want to create something to use that for multiple games, it's in their right to do so. They've done the work. If they want to use it, let them use it. It's their decision. But if they want to boast about how something is entirely new, it has to be a lot of work to do that, and everything just is so incredibly new, updated, and awesome that it just takes so much effort, but it's then visible through comparisons that it's literally the exact same thing. That's where I draw the line. That's why I also have a personal grudge against Sword and Shield. But again, I'm gonna talk about that in my Sword and Shield review. We're gonna talk about that at a later point. That being said, I just really hope that old animations, something like Double Kick, for instance, that looked really absolutely terrible for a lot of Pokemon, even in Sword and Shield, I hope that those moves get a decent update into how they actually look. Because despite you liking or not liking a move, when for Double Kick the Pokemon just jumps, what's the point of that? It looks more like Splash in that case than Double Kick. Again, a very specific topic, but who knows? Maybe I have a reason for talking about it like this. Who knows? Point number 5. Finished shipping and polish. If we get another BDSP, I'm gonna flip a fucking lid. I'm gonna tell you. I get it. Okay, I get it. Production cost in COVID times, not good. It sucks a lot more than it should. And the prospect of internet and having a game potentially being patched in the capacity of multiple gigabytes. Yeah, it's convenient. It allows for the developers to take shortcuts but still deliver the finished product. Is it acceptable? I personally disagree, because when I pay 60 euros, my currency, okay, whatever your currency is and whatever your price is, judge for yourself. When I pay 60 euros for a game and it's coming in a half-assed, halfway developed state just to get a day one patch that is almost half the game, I'm feeling scammed. I'm feeling cheated. And that is what BDSP was. Granted, it was mostly post-game areas. It was mostly things like movies and so on. I think a lot of music also was hindered by a missing day one patch or a missing patch of the current times. However, that is all the more not something that you should be able to excuse. I'm not sure how much of a say Ilka had in the decision to ship it out half-assed. If they had full control over it, I'm gonna fully blame Ilka. If it's half-half, yeah, well, it's basically like the game, huh? It's not as funny as I thought it would be. And if it's entirely Game Freak's or Nintendo's decision, then shame on them for literally scamming people. Look, think about this for just a minute. What about the places that just have a really crappy internet connection or no internet connection whatsoever? Because yes, those places exist. What about those people that bought the cartridge from an electronics store of their choice? Perhaps they took their Switch on a vacation and there was no reliable wireless connection there or no connection at all. What if they wanted to play the game on their holidays? They may have beaten the game and then they were like, hold on a second, I can't access... First of all, I don't get an introduction movie, and now I can't access the secondary area, the resort area. What's wrong with this game? Honestly, I personally I don't like the thought process of, well, we have a shipping date, we gotta finish it no matter what. Who cares if we have to give a day one patch later on? I just dislike that thought process entirely. That's just a personal gripe of mine, okay? Anyway, at least make Scarlet and Violet be shipped properly without a multiple gigabyte patch. Please. That would honestly kill Scarlet and Violet for me after seeing BDSP being handled that exact way. Having the same thing happen twice within a year, I mean, it's not literally in the same year number, but we can assume that Scarlet and Violet will enter the realm of circulation around the same time that Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is. Around November 15th, 19th, I'm not really sure about the dates yet for November. Somewhere around a Friday in November, I would say. So yeah, please just ship it in a completed state. That's my point. Number 6, which kind of goes alongside with the whole shipping fiasco. Don't crap out content as DLC that either should have been in the main game storyline, in the main game altogether, or that is just there to pad bonus playtime because your base game just is terribly short and unimpressive. And no, in case anyone is telling me, well, there's always VGC, cool. Have you considered that not everyone likes VGC? Crazy, right? Yes, battling is a big part of Pokemon, but it's not the main focus, even though World Championships and all that would like you to believe otherwise. The thing that Pokemon was first and foremost was a collector game. That's the first objective you ever get in Pokemon, aside from getting the parcel from the store clerk. But the first main overarching objective in all of Pokemon is complete the Pokedex. And something like the gym challenges and the Elite Four and trying to become the strongest trainer possible, that came after. Even your rival in Gen 1 always compared their catches with yours to make you feel inferior, that you caught less. Underhanded psychological tricks. But yeah, just don't give us crappy DLC for at least my own liking a little too much. I can't really complain about it. I have to throw my hands up. I bought the DLC, so yeah, I only have myself to blame, quite honestly. But still, give us at least something that is worthwhile. And I will also say, Crown Tundra, the Calyrex storyline, that actually was cute. Okay? I actually liked that bit. Calyrex had a distinct character. They kept the character going for the entire time, and they culminated in a quite nice final boss battle with the unified Calyrex. Quite nice. Good handling, yeah. I'll definitely give it credit for doing that. But that is the only thing that the DLC will receive in forms of credit from me personally. Yeah, by the way, the follow feature that is not possible in the regular wild area, what's up with that? And yeah, basically the last thing that I want to talk about, point number 7, again, whether or not you have merged certain points together because you think that they should be together, that's for you to decide. Anyway, my personal point number 7, give us actual characters in the new Pokemon games in Scarlet and Violet. Okay, again, positive mention from Sword and Shield. Beat was handled to near perfection. He was finally a character that you could root against and not feel bad for beating him. Something that especially How has ruined for a ton of people because he was too nice, too cheerful. You felt bad for beating him, honestly. That just being a side note again. Beat was great. Marnie was forgettable after her second encounter. I'm sorry. Big shoutouts to Pierce. He's a great character. Sorry, Marnie's theme is my favorite of basically almost all the Pokemon themes in the series. I think Zinnia is still above that. Cynthia also top 3 contender very much. Yeah, sorry, Marnie just didn't cut it. And Hop. Oh god, Hop. Look, I'm sorry. If you like Hop, you're justified in doing so. You have your reasons for liking him. However, when I encountered him for the first time, I immediately came to the conclusion that the only thing that kept Hop going was his brother, and he had nothing else to do than try to be his brother. After he lost to Beat, he kind of had an existential crisis and started finding himself more and more, which I think was a good thing. And he also looked visibly upset about losing to you in the Championship Cup. And the whole resolution with Hop after he basically caught the opposing box legendary that he wants to be a Pokemon professor. It came out of nowhere, but at least he finally has a path for himself. Finally not wanting to be his own brother. Basically a Leon 2.0, in which case, pretty bad character. And don't get me started on how Sonya was absolutely fucking terrible. Look, if you like her looks-wise, that's not my issue. I have an issue with the fact how she tells you about the darkest day constantly, and constantly, and constantly. And it's always the same fucking thing. Sorry, I don't need a broken record to tell me the exact same thing over and over. I have some semblance of memory about a Pokemon game. If you don't think your players can handle the story and remember it, don't do story. Especially with the Darkest Day talks being literally like 30 minutes of gameplay away from each other. Around 30 minutes. Maybe 45 if you're daring. Anyway, the Darkest Day storyline is handled to absolute shit. That's why Sonya is way worse than she could have been if she would have done constant research, if she would have presented newer things, newer facts every single time, instead of being a retread of, hey, look, that kind of looks like Darkest Day, right? And the character just nodding in agreement. Chairman Rose, oh god. Chairman Rose is probably the worst antagonist in the entire franchise, bar none. He seems like he's concerned about the people of Galar, and then he acts like a bad guy, but then he's like, the legendary Pokemon Eternatus has already been caught, so what's the point even? And Rose is so nonsensical, it hurts to think about it. So yeah, please, for Scarlet and Violet, give us actual characters. Give us people that we don't feel insulted in our intelligence by. They don't have to be overly complex, but at least they gotta have an established character and keep that character throughout the game. Or at least until the character arc is finished so that they can transition into a new character arc. Get an actual story writer for the people that are supposed to have story. Please. I don't want another Rose, and I don't want another Sonya, and I especially don't want any further form of Sword and Shield storytelling, honestly. Okay, I get kind of ranty at the end there, and I'm sorry for that. I really am. But I'm just throwing my passion for Pokemon out here, because when I talk about those things in a louder and a negative way, it's because I don't want those things to tarnish the potential that Scarlet and Violet is definitely showing. Survivor looks great, but if it has the same Sword and Shields, aka Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, aka Sun and Moon animations, then wasted potential right there. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I shall see you in my next video, and until then, have a great rest of your time zone, and I'll see you later. Peace.